Kansas City's Seth Wansing sits on the pole for tonight's Thursday Night Thunder semifinal from the Kansas Speedway. A little bit of emotion in our hearts tonight, learning just hours ago that Kyle Busch has unfortunately passed, and definitely not what we wanted to be racing under tonight. But we will race our very best for Rowdy. Shout out Justin. Shout out Big Richard in the chat. Shout out everybody that's decided to turn up tonight for the Thursday Night Thunder semifinal. Seth Wansing on the inside and Aiden Norman, the three-time champion, on the outside. A very long shot for the championship. We'll see what unfolds in the next 110 laps. Let's do it for Rowdy. Green flag is out. Seth Wansing shuffled down to fourth, and the Bluegrass Bandit, Briley Wright in the number 3, wiggles out of turn number 2, and championship hopeful Aiden Norman in the 6-2 car. Now to the lead. Briley Wright in the middle, with Seth Wansing now beneath him on the left-hand side. He'll come up the racetrack. Briley gets loose up the track. Noah Belleville, the points leader, just trying to hold on. These are the numbers coming into this race. Noah Belleville has a 24-point gap to Chuck Sweeting. And the Charlotte winner, running in the 6th position right now, trying everything he can to catch up to Noah Belleville. Belleville sitting in 4th. Aiden Norman leading this race. Seth Wansing to the inside, again at his home track, the Kansas City native. Already started with a pole. Can you imagine if he comes home with a win? Susan Rice talking about Moldy Muskrat, a.k.a. Noah Belleville, and his love for Kyle Busch since Noah was old enough to talk. That's been his favorite, and that's the reason that Noah's running this tribute paint scheme tonight for the number 41 of Kyle Busch. And you can see the number 5 just in that 41 there. All of us in our own time, since we learned, what was it, just about 2 hours ago that Kyle Busch had died, just eulogizing him in our own way and showing appreciation to truly one of the great drivers in NASCAR. Our normal drip sponsorship in the style of his yellow M&M's 18 that he made so famous over the years. And you saw on our title screen earlier today, just a small yellow banner with the initials KB in the corner. Noah Belleville with this paint scheme. Seth Wansing with this number 5 also. Aiden Norman running a couple of decals on the back of his number 62. You'll see when he comes back around the front of the racetrack, he has an 8 and an 18 decal on the back end of his car. Briley Wright, a massive Kyle Busch fan as well, going with his trademark number 3 that Dale made famous. Tom Sears, who normally runs a Bobby Labonte paint scheme, but of course, tonight breaking out his tribute to Rowdy Bush in the Snickers car. Tommy Withers did not start this race, but he was also in a Kyle Busch tribute, the all-black CarQuest machine. At the front of this race, 9 laps in, Aiden Norman leads in car 62. He's got a 0.3 of a second gap back to Seth Wansing and Noah Belleville, trying to win his second Thursday Night Thunder championship. A 24-point gap is what Noah carries into this race, with the 5.7 of Chuck Sweeting rolling in the 6th position. If you just tuned in, you have not missed a thing. It is the Thursday Night Thunder semifinal, and we're also going to take tonight to honor Kyle Busch a bit. So if you feel so inclined, if you want to share your favorite Kyle Busch memory in the chat, go right ahead. We were discussing it earlier, and for me, I think it was the 2012 shootout. Terry Gabbard's in the house. Terry Gabbard in the house. Says missing old friends on a night like tonight. Hashtag 18 forever. For me, I think it was the Bud shootout. It was, what year was it? I think it was 2012. I could be wrong. I haven't looked it up, but it was the year that Kyle Busch was racing in the Bud shootout. I think he spun out twice, and one of those spins, he was sitting in the apron, basically. I think half the car was on the apron. Turn number 2 at Daytona. Half the car's on the apron. The other end is on the banking. He saves the car. He doesn't hit anything. Comes back and he wins that race at Daytona. From that moment, I was never a Kyle Busch fan, and from that moment, I softened up a bit, and it's kind of game recognized game. You have to recognize that talent. You can dislike Kyle Busch all you want, but the raw talent in that 18 machine, unmatched. Tom Sears has taken his number 18 car to the 13th position. He is a 1/10 of a second behind Colin McDonough. Jason Alexander to the inside of Toby Estes in his number 53. Let's ride on board with Jayco. Our second of 2 drivers from Greensburg, Kentucky, Toby Estes. And we forgot about this Rowdy tribute, if you will. Kevin Feemster putting the Rowdy logo on his hood. And what's a really cool, just faded Kyle Busch 18 doing a burnout over the DeWalt logo on the back end of his car. The Indiana pilot now driving behind the South Carolinian as Toby Estes works his way to the inside of a familiar face. Cousin Cody into the number 21 car, sitting in 7th. The Monroe, Georgia pilot just put some sparks up off of the turn 2 wall. Jason Alexander goes for a big slide, but he's staying in it. The Salem driver to the inside of Tampa's Ryan Lindemann, and Lindo brings the Jordan Chevrolet into the top 10. Let's go on board with Lindemann. Tampa's Ryan Lindemann still holds on to 9th. Jason Alexander in 10th. Cody Pennell in the 11th position as Trenton, New Jersey's Colin McDonough tries to go to his outside At the front of this race, Aiden Norman remains in control in the Good Day Soju Chevrolet. Seth Wansing, in his Kyle Busch tribute, runs in second with Noah Belleville a distant third, 1.7 seconds up to Aiden Norman. But again, the name of the game for this particular driver, Noah Belleville, is points. It's the TNT semifinal. 24 points is the current gap between himself and Chuck Sweeting. Chucky currently running in the 5th position. And if the race ends now, Chuck has a mountain to climb next week at the final at Darlington. But you can't forget about Aiden Norman, because the gap there is 521 to Aiden's 488. 486, I'm sorry. So it is a 35-point gap back to Aiden Norman. Aiden has a much bigger hill to climb. Jason Alexander has spun on the front stretch, the South Carolinian. I think he's got a bigger hill to climb right now. He's got to be careful that he doesn't make contact with anybody. Let's see what happened to Jaco. This is on lap 20. Oh, contact with the 51 of Ryan Lindemann. That's big contact with Ryan Lindemann. And caution is out. 51 and the 5-3 come together, and that's going to be caution number 1. Let's get another look. Whoa. Okay, well, that's a beautiful shot of some church in the distance of Kansas City. But yeah, the 51 and the 53 coming together big time. Let's see what happened here. Lindo comes up off of turn number 4. He comes down onto the 5-3 of Jason Alexander. Ryan Lindemann crashes into the wall. And they almost make contact again. Let's go on board with Jaco. Let's see if we can find out what happened from Lindemann's point of view. Oh, this is coming off of turn number 2. So Lindo's going to have a great run into turn number 3. Jaco's going to be on the inside. Let's try this one more time. Watch this. Caution number 1 comes out. Jason Alexander still getting repairs in the pits. Maybe he doesn't want to use a fast repair. Lindo back out onto the racetrack. The Tampa driver. Shiny, clean. Let's bother the man and see if we can find out what happened. Lindo, Rick James in the house. Can you hear me? Oh, no, of course you can't hear me because my speakers aren't set up right. How about now, Lindo? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you got me?
Hey, buddy, I got you. 10-4. What in the hell happened?
Just got loose there. I think I burnt the tires up too much there on that first run, just trying to figure this track out and bounced off the wall. And unfortunately, the 53 was there, and feel bad for him because innocent bystander.
All right, well, you used a fast repair. You got another chance to come out here and keep that car shiny. But obviously, topic of the night is the man, the legend, Kyle Busch. Share with me, share with the fans who want to talk a little bit about Kyle, your favorite Kyle Busch memory.
Definitely winning the Snowball Derby. You know me, I'm a short track kind of guy, and going to the Snowball Derby every single year and seeing him. I think he's a 2-time winner of the Snowball Derby there at Five Flags, so definitely, seeing him take home the Tom Dawson Trophy is probably my favorite memory.
Definitely a versatile driver, man. One of the best drivers I think I've seen. I was sharing my memory of the 2012 Bud Shootout, where he had spun out twice. I think half the car ended up on the apron while he was still trying to hold it, and he saved it and came back to win it. That for me is up there, man. He's truly a special driver. We're going back to green. Lindo, you have fun.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you, Rick.
Green flag is out. Ryan Lindemann restarts from the 11th position. Aiden Norman, your race leader, off to a great start in turn number 1. Noah Belleville to the outside of Seth Wansing. 2x2, 3 rows deep. Aiden Norman comfortably leads lap number 1. Noah Belleville riding the high side already. He's got Briley Wright coming up behind him. Chuck Sweeting sits in the 5th position. The other Bluegrass Bandit in tonight's race, Toby Estes, trying to get up behind the Charlotte winner. And we mentioned Elrich George. He was only in the race for 15 laps. Last week's winner at Talladega will finish in the 14th position. Norman just went purple, 30.22 seconds. He is the race's quickest driver and the hometown flavor of the week. Seth Wansing, he rolls in 2nd. Belleville's in 3rd, now tries to open up the inside line and does. One more spot for Noah Belleville is less work he needs to put together next week at Darlington. Technically, Belleville could clinch the championship tonight. It's just a question of numbers. Now, depending on bonus points, Noah Belleville would be able to clinch if he has a 45-point gap leaving this race. Now, of course, a lot of things can happen between now and lap 110, so let's not count our chickens. However, it's possible. I think with all in all with bonus points, if you win the pole, win the race, lead the most laps, I think you end up leaving with 48 total points. So if Noah Belleville leaves here with a 48-point gap, he is champion. The gap is 24 points as they run. But with Chuck Sweeting running in the top 10 consistently, having that long-run car, Noah will have to work for this. Undoubtedly, he's going to have to put in work. And he's going to need to have a little bit of luck as well, because Chuck Sweeting is not a driver who is easily swayed. He is consistent, and when the long-run car comes in, he is fast. As is Belleville. However, the competition is heavy. Seth Wansing being boosted by being that hometown driver here at Kansas. Briley Wright coming back after several weeks break. He's bringing the Goodwrench car into the 3rd position. Car 3 trying to knock his friend back a peg on the championship table. And the other Bluegrass Bandit, Toby Estes, rolls in 5th. Let's go on board with Toby. Estes rolls in the 5th position. And there's that 3rd place battle again. Noah Belleville in the 41. Briley Wright in the 3. 3rd place on the line and crucial championship points. Belleville has to fight hard, but will the tires give way? This is one of the tracks where drivers were finding in practice. The car will slide around. The tires will fall off greater than what you would expect. Drivers all coming down on lap 21 under that last caution, and the Drip Diecast and Collectibles Track Facts will tell you drivers will go up to 40 laps on a fuel run. So if they last pitted on lap 61, if it goes green, they'll make it. If they last pitted on 21, if it goes green, they will absolutely make it to lap 61. Drivers can one stop the race from here, regardless if it goes green or not. $60 is that magic number. Once they make it to 60, any driver that pits lap 60 onward can make it on fuel, with some conservation. Of course, I'm not the driver. These guys are the drivers, so to be real, I know absolutely nothing. Estes in 5th, Donald Ray in the 6th position. That's Rockwall, Texas Donald Ray, for those that know. Let's catch a ride with Jacket. The 14 with the Home Depot colors being pursued by the 17 of Kevin Feemster. The Van Buren, Indiana driver in that 1-7 now has cousin Cody Pennell trying to pester him for that 7th position. Chuck Sweeting on his tail. The Chuckster in 9th. Tom Sears in 10th. So far, everybody's single file. Belleville's in. Noah Belleville is in. What happened to the 41? Unscheduled pit stop for Noah Belleville. Did he get loose out of the corner? No, he's just slow and coming into the pits. What happened to Noah Belleville? This is on lap 37. He's getting tires. He's going to go a lap down, but... So here's my thought process. He's expecting this to go green. If it does, from lap 38, he can go another 40 laps, and he's going to make it to 78. And you know what? I said 60. My math is wrong. See, this is how I know nothing. I knew the lap was the race was 110 laps, but the math wasn't mathing, because when I said they could make it from lap 60, that's not true. They can make it from lap 40 because the race is 110 laps, not 100. Noah Belleville pitting on lap 38, coming out on 39. He's trying to go 41 laps to the end on one tank of fuel. So he's going to come out on lap 39. He's expecting to run it to lap 80, which will be about 30 to go. Or maybe... See, this is interesting. Because if the tires will only go 30 laps, maybe they're not going for fuel. Maybe they're going to run it on a tire window. Who knows? Ryan Lindeman's on the inside of Cody Pennell. This is for 9th. And if you just tuned in, just one caution to speak of. Ryan Lindeman and Jason Alexander came together on lap number 20. Lindeman comes high out of the wall in turn number 4, slams down on Jason Alexander, and they both go for a ride. Aiden Norman leading by 1 1/4 seconds over Seth Wansing. Noah Belleville running in the 13th position. Donald Ray has also decided to come into the pits. Last time around, Noah Belleville running 30.23 seconds. Aiden Norman 31.05. It is an 0.8 of a second gap from Belleville to Norman. And how is this going to play out? I don't think it's that risky of a strategy. The only way that this could go wrong is if the caution unfortunately comes out, but Noah Belleville is the first car 1 lap down, so even if the caution comes out, he's only a lap down. He'll get it back because of the lucky dog. If he wasn't the first car a lap down, it would be a problem. He played this one smart. He played this one incredibly smart. So now Belleville has the upper hand as long as he remains the first car 1 lap down. If other drivers decide to come into the pits and beat him on that pit delta, it then becomes a problem. But Noah Belleville is carrying so much speed. He just went 30.36 seconds. He's still 0.7 of a second faster than Aiden Norman. By the numbers, if the caution comes out, Belleville's going to be just fine. Cody Pennell is also in. This is lap 44. Belleville will be able, or not Belleville, I'm sorry. Cousin Cody that we're looking at would be able to make it to lap 84 on fuel. Norman by 1.3 seconds over Seth Wansing. Now that the other drivers have come in early, is Norman forced to put the hammer down? This is getting interesting. The strategy's really starting to develop. 45 of the scheduled 110 laps into this race. Further on back, the Chuckster has moved up to 5th. Chuck Sweeting is half a second behind Toby Estes and closing. That is the 4/10 between them. The Charlotte winner, 24 points behind Noah Belleville in the 41 car. He started 5th. He runs in 5th. And how will his pit strategy play out also? There's your points leader. DeSoto, Missouri's Noah Belleville currently running in the 11th position, waiting for the rest of his peers to come into the pits. All of the top 10 have yet to pit, but Noah Belleville came in extremely early, only 15 laps after the restart when drivers typically would go 30 to 40 laps. Sweeting to the inside of Toby Estes, and the Chuckster gets around the Bluegrass Bandit. That is 4th place. If you just tuned in, just one caution to speak of. Talking a little bit about Kyle Busch tonight. Go ahead and share your favorite Rowdy memory in the chat. Jason Alexander, Ryan Lindemann about to get down to business. Let's go on board with Jaco. Alexander looking to make light work of the 51 car. And he will. Lindo's in the wall. Jason Alexander goes to the inside now that the door's been so kindly opened. 49 laps into this race, Jason Alexander moves into 8th. Further up ahead, Toby Estes has the quickly approaching Kevin Feemster in the 17 DeWalt machine. Kevin with his own Kyle Busch tribute tonight. Aiden Norman is in. The 3-time champion is in. Seth Wansing will follow suit. Hawthorne, Florida's Chuck Sweeting will be your new leader. 6 cars decide to come in on lap 51. Noah Belleville, not one of them. He last pitted on lap 36. Sweeting, Feemster, Alexander McDonough, your top 4. And now, how does this work out? I have no idea who has the upper hand here. We'll see if Noah Belleville's pit strategy helps him beat the Delta, meaning he will be the leader when all of this sorts out. The Chuckster last pitted on lap 21. Drivers can go 40 laps on fuel, but they've decided to come in around 30 because of the tires. The tires will wear so quickly that they won't be able to go that full 40 laps and maintain that optimum speed. So Chuck Sweeting moves into first. The top four have yet to pit. Noah Belleville runs in fifth. He is 2 seconds ahead of Donald Ray, who pitted on lap 40. Cody Pennell pitted on lap 43. And Aiden Norman remains 0.7 of a second ahead of the rest of the drivers that pitted on lap number 50. He is pulling away. How about 10th place as it runs? Briley Wright, Toby Estes, the two Bluegrass Bandits about to go to work. Let's catch a ride. Briley dips down to the inside of Toby Estes. He holds on to 10th place for now with Seth Wansing just ahead of them. Hi to Sarah at home while we are 54 laps into this race, almost a halfway. Chuck Sweeting remains your leader. Kevin Feemster has gotten a speeding penalty or an unsafe exit. Black flag for car 17. What happened to Kevin? He had just left the pits as well. Was it an unsafe exit? Kevin does find himself one lap off the pace already, so I'm wondering if he's serving back-to-back penalties. We'll see what happens with car 17. The Chuckster still leading this race, last pitting on lap 21. If he can go 40 laps per the Drip Diecast and Collectibles Track Facts, the Chuckster will need to pit about 2.5 laps from now. The Bluegrass Bandits still at it. Toby Estes working on Briley Wright. Just trying to work the line, trying to find out where the other guy is going to be. The 3, Briley Wright in 9th, and his best friend, his neighbor, and I mean that in every sense of the word, Toby Estes running in 10th. Jason Alexander decides he's going to come in, and Jaco will finally give it up. He's going to get tires, fuel, and everything else he needs, although he will have to come in one more time. I incorrectly said earlier 60 was the magic number, but that's because I can't do math. It's 70. Jaco overshoots the pit. He's going to have to back it up, and that's going to cost him. 59 laps now complete. Aiden Norman to the outside of Cody Pennell. This is 6th place as it runs. Aiden pitted on lap number 50. He's getting around Cody, who pitted on lap number 43. Donald Ray is next on Norman's radar. The Good Day Soju Chevrolet running in 5th. of the drivers that have already pitted, Norman eventually will cycle to the lead when Chuck Sweeting, Colin McDonough, Noah Belleville all pit. Belleville came in on lap 36. If he runs it dry, he'll be able to go to approximately, I was going to say 76, but Chuck Sweeting has already gone more than 40 laps on fuel. Colin McDonough has decided to come in. Shout out to Steph wherever she's watching from. And shout out to the Kansas Underground Salt Museum that's sponsoring Colin's car. Where the heck do you get that sort of a sponsor? The Kansas Underground Salt Museum. Chuck Sweeting is in, by the way, sponsored by nothing but Pretty Colors. That's way more interesting than the Kansas Underground Salt Museum. But I guess Colin went with a local sponsor, so good for Colin. So Noah Belleville will cycle around to be your race leader, and these are the points again coming into this race. Noah holds that 24-point gap over the Chuckster. 48 is the magic number for Noah. If he has 48 points when the checkered flag flies, he is your Thursday Night Thunder champion. If not, he's got work to do next week at Darlington. So far, so good. He's in the wall. Aiden Norman now trying to take that lead from him. Remember, Belleville pitted on lap 36. Aiden Norman pitted on lap number 50. Where is this going to leave the both of them when the stops cycle back around? Belleville looking for him to pit around lap 76, so about 12 to 13 laps from now. Aiden Norman, if he decides to run the fuel dry, will come in around lap 90, but that's only going to leave him 20 laps to catch back up and take the lead. He pitted on lap number 50. It's now lap number 64. So on this stint, Aiden Norman can pit and retake the lead in 14 laps. If you apply that same logic, and Aiden Norman pits on lap number 90, the numbers say he'll take the lead with 6 laps to go. Of course, all of this means absolutely nothing, because I know nothing. Let's get to some real racing, by the way. Donald Ray, Seth Wansing, Briley Wright all grouped together. Cody Pennell on the outside of Toby Estes. This is 6th place on the line, while the Kansas driver, who currently runs in 3rd, tries to hold off the competition. Shout out to the Wansing family. Shout out to Midwest Barbecue, by the way. They tune in occasionally to Thursday Night Thunder to watch their boy Seth Wansing gyrate the racetrack, and he's doing Kansas proud right now, running in the podium position. Chuckster went green, 30.41. He drove his quickest lap of the race so far. 6-7 laps underway of the scheduled 110. We started racing approximately 35 minutes ago. Norman with a 1.8 second gap to Noah Belleville, but they don't award points for time, just 4 positions. Where does Belleville find himself now? Does he come in now? Does he run the fuel dry to lap 76? Lap 77, how far is he going to make it? Is he conserving fuel? Second place, just whizzing by. Noah Belleville running that high line, careful to stay off the wall. It is his championship to lose. The Chuckster, Chuck Sweeting, he pitted on lap 62. It's only lap 68. It makes sense that Chuck would be in the 9th position, but as it runs, Belleville could leave here with his 2nd TNT title all wrapped up. Shout out Grandma Jeannie, who's been a big fan. Been with TNT for a really long time now. Susan Rice also watching Moldy run around the racetrack. He's fighting for third with Briley Wright. Briley with tires that are 14 laps more fresh than Noah Belleville. He'll make light work of the 41, or will he? Belleville with some fight. The 41 car on the outside. And he won't let Briley easily take that position. Further back in the mix, Donald Ray, Cody Pennell, 6th place up for grabs. And the Georgia pilot in the Motorcraft Ford wants a piece of the Home Depot Chevrolet in 6th. Down the front stretch, Cody Pennell has a good look to the inside of Donald Ray, but he can't pull it off because here comes Chuck Sweeting in the 57 machine. Chuckster's up to the 7th spot now. He wants 6th from Donald Ray. He pushes the Texas driver high, and the Floridian in the brightly colored 57 now moves up into 6th. Noah Belleville's in the pits. Here comes the 41 on lap 74 on his way into the pits. He's got enough fuel to go the distance. Will he have the tires at the end of the stint? That's the question. If it goes green from here, will Belleville have the tires? Can we find out the last pit lap here? Well, it's going to show Belleville last pitting on lap 75. I know I got a tool here that's going to show me their pit stop. Well, I thought I did. Maybe I don't. But I thought I had a tool that would show me their last pit stop. The gap from one pit stop to the next. That's all right. We'll figure it out. It doesn't matter. Let's see some racing. Jason Alexander and Ryan Lindemann, remember their first. Whoa, something happened to Colin McDonough. Something big happened to Colin McDonough. This is on lap 75. Oh, he's already wrecked by this point. What happened to car 39? Have a look. All by himself. There's no noise in the car. The car's just not there. Just have another listen. I know we're missing action on the track, but have a listen to car 39. Colin did say he was having some issues with technology. Obviously, he's moving under his own power, and he's able to steer that race car, but that sucks for him. Alexander and Lindemann able to easily get around each other this time. Let's go back to their first incident. This is lap number 19. Lindemann high out of turn number 4. Comes down on Alexander. And caution number 1 comes out. The only caution of the race so far. Seth Wansing is in. Toby Estes is in. These two drivers coming down on lap 79. Ryan Lindemann will do the same. Donald Ray on the inside of Kevin Feimster. That is not for position. Kevin finds himself in 10th. The first car 1 lap down. But Tom Sears in his number 18 machine. He wants a piece of Jacket Ray. This is 4th place on the line. And Donald Ray will come in, so Tom Sears will easily come around and take the position. Hopefully Donald Ray didn't speed, and he did. He absolutely got a black flag for speeding, and that's going to cost him. You saw him coming in extremely quick, and I thought it looked like speeding, and, well, what do you know? That's speeding, isn't it? So Sears, now your race leader, the Southampton, Massachusetts pilot, takes over the top spot. He'll lead. He'll get bonus points. And as Justin said regarding Colin McDonough, looked like a steering wheel disconnect. And that could very well be the case. So Tomo leads his lap in his Kyle Busch tribute. You saw Chuck Sweeting fly around him. Kevin Feemster will overtake Aiden Norman, who came into the pits on lap 79. 30 laps to go for Norman. He's back in action. He comes out just next to Noah Belleville. How about that? The potential race lead changing. Remember, Belleville came in on 73. Norman using Tom Sears as a pick, and he stays ahead of Belleville. That's 5th over 6th. What a move. Watch this again. I don't know if this is intentional. I don't know if he saw this coming, but keep your eye on the green 62 to the inside of the blinking 41. The slow 18 of Tom Sears is there. Aiden Norman just occupies the space where Noah Belleville is, does not allow him to get down onto the racetrack, and intentionally or not, uses the 18 of Tom Sears as a pick and stays ahead of the 41. Smart move by the 62, whose tires, again, 6 laps more fresh than Noah Belleville. Where does that put car 41? Chuck Sweeting pitted on lap 74. He only pitted for 9.5 seconds. That will tell you that Chuck took 2 tires. He did not take 4. The Chuckster with a gamble. 27 laps to go, 1.9 seconds behind Noah Belleville, and Chuck's tires on the same level of wear as Noah Belleville. 27 left when they cross the line. Just heard somebody saving fuel. Couldn't tell who was pushing their clutch in and saving max fuel into the corner, but we roll on. Shout out to the folks over at Drip Diecast and Collectibles that keep us moving week in and week out as we see a lead change oncoming. If you haven't checked them out yet, check them out on eBay, check them out on Whatnot. They are your #1 store for NASCAR memorabilia and more. Drip Diecast and Collectibles, they are your #1 store for all NASCAR memorabilia. Seth Wansing and Kevin Feemster swapping spots for 4th. Chuck Sweeting just ahead of Aiden Norman. Oh, Norman's really going to try to do it the hard way on the outside. Chuck's going to make him work for it. And Norman completes the pass while gaining time on Noah Belleville. 2 seconds is the gap between Sweeting and Belleville. Norman, your new leader. And the Chuckster won't go away. He's still there. 35 points is the gap. Aiden Norman going for his 7th victory this season. And I am trying to figure out who is pushing the clutch in and saving that fuel. Let's look ahead from the leader and find out who's there. That is Colin McDonough in car 39. I had a hunch. Let's have a listen to Colin. He pitted on lap 75. just trying to make sure he's got enough fuel to go that distance. Kevin Feemster on the outside of Toby Estes once more. Kevin will scrape the wall. Toby will easily move into the 6th position. And there's the pit strategy that I was talking about earlier. This is that tool that'll show us when's the last time these drivers came down and had a pit stop. So Noah Belleville, his last couple of stints, you saw 21 laps, 15 laps, then 37 laps for the pilot of the 41. Aiden Norman, more evenly spread out. That second stint for Belleville, a real stretch. But it's put him in race-winning contention. Now, will he need some help? Possibly. It's not about the win for Belleville. It's about making sure he scores as many points as possible, keeping the heat on Chuck Sweeting. 2 seconds is the gap, but Belleville doesn't need to force the issue because Chuck only took 2 tires on the last pit cycle. Chuck is 24 points behind Noah Belleville. If the race finishes now, Chuck will gain points on Noah headed into next week's final at Darlington. There's still a great chance for Chuck. Even if Belleville beats Chuck Sweeting, he won't have the magic number of 48. He cannot win the championship until next week, but at that time, it's going to be extremely difficult for Chuck Sweeting to do so. Seth Wansing making up ground to Noah Belleville over the last 5 laps. This has been the gap. Wansing chipping away at Belleville's lead. Briley Wright doing the same. However, there's 18 laps of difference. Briley has been cutting into Noah Belleville's lead 3/10 at a time. Belleville also came in on lap 73. He'll need to go 40, what is that? No, not 47, 37 laps on fuel. His longest stint is 30, what was it, 35 or was it 37? Back to the pit strategy. 37, it looks like from here. 3rd place, up for contention. Let's go on board with Seth. Wansing will easily cut to the inside of car 41. Third place easily changing hands for the Kansas City native. 15 laps to go. As we remember our hero, Kyle Busch. It's been a sad night for all of us. It really has. Luckily, for us as our Thursday Night Thunder group, we, on Thursdays we spend plenty of time with each other. Well before the race, we'll be practicing on our own. We'll be in the same Discord chat, just having a good time, cutting it up, whatever. But obviously, with this news of Kyle Busch, we ourselves have had plenty of time to grieve. We've had plenty of time to reflect. We've had a lot of time to think about it and discuss how we feel, how Kyle made us feel. We have each other, and I'm extremely thankful for this group that we do have each other, where we can lean on each other, we can talk, laugh, cry, reflect with each other about anything, especially racing, because it's what we love. And if you yourself haven't had the time to say something or maybe just express how you feel about Kyle Busch, I'm all ears. Go ahead and pop it in the chat and let's talk about it in these last 12 and a half laps. Kyle Busch, whether you were a fan or not, meant a great deal to everybody here because he was just, he loved to race. He's a natural-born racer, and he changed the face of racing in the United States. You got to give it up to him. Grandma Jeannie talking about how Kyle Busch was Noah's favorite driver and how NASCAR won't be the same without Kyle Busch. That is 100% true. NASCAR will never be the same again. From day one, NASCAR was never the same since the first day that Kyle Busch stepped on the scene. Let's make that extremely clear. What a driver. What a man. What a hero to so many people. 8th place being discussed between Lindemann and Alexander, and these two have been the show all night long, haven't they? They crashed on lap 19. They had a couple other good passes as well. Lindo and Jaco have really been putting on a show tonight, so thank you to these two. Racing for 8th, racing for whatever position. They've been a treat to watch, swapping positions back and forth. Aiden Norman with a 4-second gap back to Chuck Sweeting in the 2nd position, and Noah Belleville is in 4th. Briley Wright is only 1 second behind with 8 laps to go, and these are the numbers. Briley has stopped consistently chipping away at Noah's advantage, but he might just get a whiff of the draft. Is it too little too late? That's soon to see. However, Briley's tires are 6 laps more fresh than Noah. We'll see what the gap is when they cross that line. Briley didn't even gain 1/10 of a second on Belleville this time around. Belleville's 4th could be safe. Chuck Sweeting will gain 2 positions worth of points on Noah Belleville. They have both led laps today. It's still going to be an extreme mountain for the Chuckster to climb. But that's why we love racing, because anything is possible. 6 to go. Aiden Norman has made this an extremely boring race. Tom Sears is 1/2 of a second behind Ryan Lindemann. Let's go on board with Sears. Four-tenths of a second is the gap from 4th to 5th. Briley Wright is there. You were riding on board with Tom Sears as he scraped the wall in turn number 3. 4 to go next time by. 4th place on the line. Briley with tires that are 6 laps more fresh. No, I'm sorry, 6 laps older. 6 laps older is what Briley has there. The Chuckster goes for a big slide. What happened to Sweeting? Steph says she thought she'd come in right at the end. She was celebrating Thirsty Thursday. Yeah, I'll be celebrating that too for sure. 2nd place up for grabs, 4th place up for grabs, and the championship could be shaken. If Chuck Sweeting can hold on, he may just gain a couple more points over Noah Belleville, who's trying to hold on to 4th. But if Seth Wansing can't get around the Chuckster for the second position, Chuck may not have such a big mountain to climb next week at Darlington. But again, thanks to Drip Diecast and Collectibles, next week is the final round at Darlington. It will be the end of Season 12, and that's going to be it for the summer until A-Rock 6. We're changing the cars. We're going from the Australian V8 Supercar to the Audi 90 GTO. And if you don't know what the Audi 90 is, it is a turbocharged all-wheel drive 5-cylinder monster in the mid-80s when everything was turbocharged and max to the gills. So we're going to screw around with that for 6 weeks. That will be summer 2026, probably mid to late July. And then season 13 of Thursday Night Thunder will start back probably late August. White flag comes out. Aiden Norman has a 5-second gap over Chuck Sweeting. Noah Belleville with a 0.4 of a second advantage to Briley Wright and closing. Cody Pennell, Toby Estes, 0.2 apart from each other. Chuck Sweeting doesn't have any mistakes to make, and he'll wrap up second. Aiden Norman will get his 7th victory this season. Seth Wansing just can't make a move on the Chuckster. Second place is secured, and Noah Belleville will come home with 4th. Toby Estes coming out of turn number 4. He will beat Cody Pennell to the line and come home in the 6th position. Chuck Sweeting finishes 2 positions ahead of Noah Belleville. The 24-point gap will shrink headed into the final round at Darlington. We will have your points after our celebration. Aiden Norman will slide through the grass in an awesome way and avoid hitting the wall. And I'm curious into what he's trying to do here. I think he's just going to blow it up. Norman's going to burn it down. There it is. He burns it down. He blows it up for Rowdy Bush. We're going to talk to our top 3 in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. On the podium with our top three, celebrating Aiden Norman's 7th win of the season in the TNT semifinal that went off mostly without a hitch for a lot of drivers here. Let's see if we can catch a word with our third place finisher, the hometown flavor of the week, Mr. Seth Wansing. Welcome to the podium. Welcome back to TNT, first of all. Feels like we haven't seen you in forever, bud.
Yeah, been a minute.
Third place in your homecoming race. You were chasing down Chucky for a minute there. Did you think you could get him?
Yeah, I thought I did. I have no idea how Chuck hung on to tires like that at the end. I thought it was gonna be pretty quick working. I was hoping maybe 8 took 2, but I guess I was just really bad getting on the pit road trying to undercut him. But yeah, I was going like hell trying to get to Chuck, but just didn't get there.
Third place, not bad in your homecoming race, and the season finale next week at Darlington. Are we going to see you there?
Gonna try. Have a lot going on in life right now. It'll depend if I have the rig put together, but yeah, gonna try. Really wish it would have been a 1 at the home track. I could match Aiden most of the time, and just during that second stop, Aiden overshot his box and went into my box, so I overshot my box, and that was about the race, because I felt like if maybe I could have got out in front of him. We were kind of trading lap times on and off there the whole race, so even at the end, he had a bit he gained 2 seconds on pit road, even though he pit a lap after me. So congrats to him, congrats to Chuck, and just nice to have a good run at the home track.
We'll see you in a week's time, buddy. Send my love to the family. Shout out Midwest Barbecue. Let's have a word with our silver medalist, Mr. Chuck Sweeting. Chucky, this has been a fantastic season, just building on what you had last year. Unofficially, headed into next week's final, you will be 22 points behind Noah Belleville going into the Lady in Black at Darlington. Silver medal tonight and a chance to win the championship next week at Darlington. What do you think?
I think the Lady in Black's got to get Aiden for me to be able to win the championship, but you know, anything's possible. So we'll be there, and we'll give it hell. I love running Darlington. It's a fun track. It's technical. It's hard. So we'll see how it goes. But looking forward to it. Had a great season so far. Another second place to Noah. I mean, the guy's just so fast. So it's hard to beat him. But hey, I wasn't too far behind.
We were talking about season 13 as well. You sounded excited for that, man, so I know we're going to see you there. But before we get to 13, we got to wrap up 12. Congratulations on second, Chuck. We'll see you in a week's time at the final.
All right, man. Thanks a lot.
Let's have a word with our race winner. 7 wins this season, Aiden. There really is nothing else to say. It's 28 points between you and Noah Belleville headed into Darlington. Mathematically, depending on how many cars show up to next week's final, you may or may not be in the running for the championship, but you're certainly going to be in the running to take another win away from our potential champions.
Yeah, I mean, I have a pretty good track record at Darlington. I think I screwed it up by racing there in season 10 with my 1 start that season. But seasons 5, 6, and 7, I won all 3 Darlington races. So hopefully I can go for 4 out of 5, but we'll see. Obviously, competition only gets tougher every year, so it won't be easy. But I do love the track. Hopefully I can run well in this car.
Brilliant run tonight. Very, very briefly, just from the 3 of you. We'll start with you, Aiden. Let's hear your favorite Kyle Busch memory.
Oh man. You know, it's kind of hard to say simply because a lot of my memories of NASCAR growing up are kind of fuzzy. Like, I don't remember sitting down and watching one specific race or anything, but I know every time I would go up to my grandpa's house, he would always have NASCAR on the TV, and I definitely remember seeing that M&M's car and being like, that dude's cool. Not knowing anything else, just looking at the car, because that's what kids do, right? And yeah, I feel like Kyle Busch is to my generation, the younger generation, as to what maybe Dale Sr. was to some of the older people. It's just he defined an entire era of NASCAR, and no one's ever gonna replace him.
Well said, Chuck. You got a favorite Kyle Busch memory?
I don't know. There's a lot. He got a lot of wins. The memory that sticks out the most to me is him and Ron Hornaday going at it in the trucks. It might have been Kansas. I really can't remember where it was, and then him under caution turning Hornaday straight into the wall. So that's one of the memories that sticks out with him. But he's quite a character, and there's a lot of good memories and a lot of exciting things that happened. And he's one of the most talented drivers I've ever watched, and I've been watching NASCAR since I was a wee little boy, and that's a long time ago. So yeah, so he'll be missed on the racetrack, that's for sure.
Absolutely, he will. Seth, briefly give us your favorite KB memory.
Right here at Kansas Speedway, I was here in person with 30 to go in a truck race. He dominated. He got a speeding penalty or something. Restarted from the back. Immediately got into the top five. Another caution went out, and then a couple guys in front got jumbled up in front of him, and he made about the greatest 4 or 5 wide pass I've ever seen down the front stretch, scraping the wall, just drove right around everybody. It was incredible drive, and I think going off of what Aiden said, for my age people, that was our Dale Earnhardt. That was a fearless guy. That was the guy that, when the 18, 51, or 54, or whatever number he was in, got out front, see you later, night night. Just one of the incredible talents and just athletes overall in his respective sport and of all of sports to grace the face of the earth. So a lot of Kyle Busch memories. He dominated a lot of races, winningest driver in NASCAR history. Just my thoughts and prayers go out to his family. And life is so fragile, man, and makes you realize everything. Sometimes your problems aren't that small, and every day's a gift, man. You just got to unwrap it the right way.
A lot of great memories. He meant a lot. He meant a lot to us personally, to the racing community as a whole, and to the racing world over. To his family, to anybody that he met, that he meant something to. He will be missed. Kyle Busch meant something to all of us. We do have one more race to celebrate in TNT. And I think with that, we're going to continue the celebration of Kyle Busch's life, and we'll find some more time to talk about Kyle Busch next week as well. One more race to go. We have a champion to crown next week. We have the Audi 90 GTOs coming up later in the summer, but for now, it's time to say goodnight. We will see you next week around the corner. Folks at home, hug your loved ones. It's never a bad time to let them know how you feel. Until that next race,